Okay. Let's see. We're now live. So excellent. All right. Let me launch the YouTube chat in case anyone's over there. I don't think anyone would be, but we'll see. All right. Excellent. So, well, were you able to did you put it on a subdomain or something like that and get it working, or you haven't tried that yet?
Well, were you able to put it on a subdomain?
Me?
Yes, you.
This wolf. I did get it working when putting it in the root. I think I made a subdomain. Yeah, and that did work. But I didn't test it a lot yet,
Okay.
since I'm overwhelmed with client projects here. But it did work. I tried text and image. That worked. Now waiting for the gallery.
Yes, I'm working on that. I started that yesterday. So hopefully,
Okay.
yeah, hopefully we'll have that released next week. I'm going to shoot for next week.
That
I'd
would be
love to
the
say this week, but I know I'm going to hit some issues because I already hit some yesterday that I wasn't anticipating. So
okay.
hopefully by next week.
Okay, that would be the next official TCMS 3 beta update.
Yeah,
next week.
I think I might do gallery and then ship an update. I was going to wait for gallery and files and depot, but I don't want to make you guys wait that long. So I might just get gallery done. I might massage some stuff in blog,
Yeah.
just to make it a little bit more user friendly. And like turn on and off the fields in the blog post, in the blog form, just so you have a little bit more flexibility.
Mhm.
And then Gary Wan had a great idea about in the demo project having like the 4 blog pages that we would need for like a live build, right? The list page, the post page, and on the admin side, the list page and the post page, right? So I kind of had that for feeds now, and he was able to actually get one together for blog based on feeds, which was cool. It's good to see that. But yeah, I should create something just like here's a blog that works, so that you can just get that up and working. So yeah, exciting times. I'm really happy. I also had here. I'll even had a great meeting with Isaiah yesterday. I got to see the latest beta that is going to be released. And he was going to ship it last night, but I convinced him to actually add one more thing for me before we do it. So hopefully he's going to do that today. And hopefully hopefully we'll get a beta. Say by the end of this week, we should have a new beta that is much more functional than the ones we have now, especially if he adds the one feature that I requested. That means a lot of my stacks will now work in Stacks Pro, because right now a lot of my stacks don't work in Stacks Pro because he purposely turned off something called libraries, and I use that a lot. So that means a lot of my stacks don't work. So and he wasn't aware of that. He's like, "Oh, I didn't think anyone used that." Like, no. So yeah, yep. He said he thought it was going to be a pretty trivial fix to enable that back in Pro, and we should be good to go there. So I'm happy about that.
Right.
And alongside Total CMS 3, I'm going to be creating I think the first theme I'm going to create for Stacks Pro is going to be based on the Reason theme from RapidWeaver. It's just a really clean, simple theme. So yeah, I think the first theme that will be, and what'll be cool is I'm actually going to integrate Foundation into it. So it'll be a Foundation theme, but like a traditional theme. So you can use all the Foundation stacks and everything inside of it. So that'll be
Would
kind
be
of cool.
great.
Yeah.
If the next theme could be Strata.
Strata. Okay. I forget what Strata was. You have a site that uses it?
Yes, 1 second. www.data2, the character 2 net. I have to.
.de. I had it in my browser history, so I assume that's
Data to net de.
yes.
Da-
Yeah, let's Yeah, let's share. Why not? Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
This one?
it's a quite old site for one of my clients, but this client is important for me since they are doing IT work and their clients often need new websites. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they always um, tell them that they should go to me to make these new websites. So it's an important client for me. And yeah, it's a very easy to do theme, I think, for you.
Okay.
And yeah, I
All
would
right.
love to make and I would love to make the site for them new based on Foundation 6 and then your new Strutter theme.
Okay. I
Yeah.
still have you sent me a list of a handful of Nick Cates themes that you wanted. I still have that saved. That support ticket's still open actually because I want to make sure I refer to that when I'm doing it.
Okay.
So cool. Thank you for the feedback.
Yep.
If anyone else has a Nick Cates theme that you're like, I want this theme in Stacks Pro, let me know. And I do own the entire Nick Cates catalog minus I think it was the latest 2 themes that he had. Real Mac bought those out before I had a chance. And Real Mac's now killed them. So, well, they've killed them for their future products, I should say, because themes are gone.
I think I have all of the Nick Cates themes, but I never used one because
Oh, yeah?
I always use Foundation 6. So it's for
It'll be
me, there's no
interesting to
need to
see.
have a theme.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how I can going from Foundation 6 and all the customizability that we have there. Basically, it's you have a blank slate. Going back to see how can we make a theme better, right? In terms of a layout, but then also because if I bake Foundation 6 into it, maybe give us a little bit more customization than what we were used to, in the old RapidWeaver days, right? So it'll be interesting. And Stacks Pro actually has some extra features now. Oops, sorry, 1 second. I have an emergency person calling me.
Hey, Chris,
Hello.
I sent you a message on Weaver Space.
All right.
Okay. I will check it shortly.
Sorry about that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I was going to say Stacks Pro also has its theme API is very different and much better than RapidWeaver's. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do with it in terms of allowing you to customize themes more than what we had the ability to in RapidWeaver. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that blossoms over the years. Because I do think that, a lot of times if you just want a quick site, a theme is obviously gives you a little bit leg up in terms of design, right? If you don't want the full customizability. I'm not going away from that. Foundation 6 will always be there, right? For the blank slate people that want to create everything from scratch. That's most likely how I'm going to build all of my sites too. But it's that cup of tea isn't for everybody, right? Anyone else working on anything cool? You got any questions? Come fired up with any questions today? David, you're always good for a question or two.
I was up at 6 this morning. I was setting up the VibraCart MyQSL database, but I haven't quite managed to get into it yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but the charity one's coming along anyway. Should have something to show you by Friday.
Excellent. Can't wait to see it.
So I wanted to get VibraCart working, but we shall see.
Cool. Ryan, I released that update for you, bud. For Video Pro.
It's going to be a while that it was tricky.
It was tricky, and I said it would be in the next update, and it is. I already shipped it.
Okay. That was like
10 minutes ago, wasn't it?
Well, I already fixed it, and then I said it was tricky.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. I'm saying, man. All right, where are y'all getting the link to get to this Zoom meeting? I had to have Scott send it to me.
Oh, it was on the community. My email linked to the community post, and there's a join Zoom link right there on the community post. Was it not, or did it? I thought it was there.
The little red one works.
Yeah, the red one below the video embed. Yeah. Yep.
That's how I got on.
Oh, there are some people on
I
YouTube.
see. I see. I bet you got a bunch of. I looked right over that.
I'm
I looked
sure
like
I'm
2 or
gonna
3
problem.
times. I kept clicking the Hangout thing, and it took me to the.
Here, maybe I'll edit. Click here to join or something like here. Let me edit that post really quick in case anyone else.
Doing too many things at one time.
There.
So saying it works in Safari now if I go update. Interesting. Wish I could fix stuff as fast as you.
Funny. I was actually using a feature that actually Safari didn't support, which is why it didn't work in Safari. I was using some JavaScript stuff that I assumed worked everywhere, and learned that this morning it didn't work in Safari, so I had to come up with a workaround. It's always a pain when different browsers have different functionalities. Why can't they just all be the same? They are a lot better nowadays than they were in the past, though. Like 10 years ago.
I don't know, man. Arc is the best. it seems to be the best.
Are you guys missing Netscape still?
Netscape, nice. Yes.
Because I actually taught a class in Stuyvesant High School, and this was before we had actual graphic web browsers that were allowed into schools. And we were able to visit websites, list the things on servers by typing in links in 1997 or 98. So, I mean, I don't know. We can go back to the AOL browser.
What's strange is it worked on I noticed last night it worked on the iOS Safari.
Oh,
That's
really?
No hover. That's because you were actually having to touch it, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably because you had to tap it. Yeah, because there's no hover events. So yeah, that makes sense. Well, looks like we lost 2 people on the YouTube live stream, and we gained 2 people on the Zoom. So I guess that people heard us. They heard you. Thanks for saying that, Ryan.
Anyway.
I heard you because I didn't like YouTube at all.
Oh, nice. Okay. Excellent. Greetings, Bill and Sean. Thanks for popping in. Anyone else have any questions? Else I can kind of dive in. You guys want to watch me work on Total CMS, or do we want to? Anyone want to have any questions? I know Wolf, Adamite, you just downloaded CMS 3, so you probably haven't had a chance to really play with it much or watch that epic. I did a live stream, I think 2 weeks ago, for everyone, and it's a pretty decent overview. I know it's long. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah. Today I got internet, so I.
Excellent. Okay. What'd you think of the image stuff? I know I built a lot of that based on some of your feedback. So what were your thoughts on that?
I will try it, Joe.
Okay.
But at the moment, it's only on my Mac. I didn't install it, so.
Well, no, I understand.
I will
but
do
like
it during the next days.
When you watched the live stream, what did you think of the image functionality that I showed?
Oh, I'm not ready with the live stream. I'm in the middle of it.
Oh, got it. Oh, okay. Here, let me show. Here, I'll show off some stuff. So I've been playing with Gallery, and I know I said that like image watermarking doesn't work yet on the image stuff because it actually requires the gallery. And here, let me kind of show what that curtail. Now, a lot of what I'm showing doesn't exist in the stacks yet. I'm going to be showing you kind of with some of my native tools and local browser and my testing environment. All right. Bear with me for a second. Now, let me make sure that the changes I did last night didn't completely break it. And look at that. It still works. Nice.
Joe, I do have a question when you free up from this part of your brain session.
Okay. one second.
Thank you, Joe. It works. Yay.
Beautiful.
Am I like the only person that uses Safari? I live under a rock or what?
No, I mean, I used Safari for years. I just recently kind of switched over to Arc.
Because of
and-
one password.
I do have to say that
That's
is
much.
one thing that works a lot nicer in Arc than Safari.
Yep.
I do miss some of the native OS integrations in Safari, like the 2auth stuff. That's super nice, like super convenient.
Hard to live without that.
Yeah, I know, dude. That is, I miss that. I do 100% like having to open up the Messages app, then copy the little code and go back to the browser. Oh, Jesus.
It won't pull it from email either, will it?
Nope.
No.
Although Safari didn't really pull it from email for me either. Like I know that was supposed to be a feature, but that never really worked for me.
For me, it started working like in the last 2 months.
Interesting.
Never before that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's see. And it did work on iOS, I think. If I got an email, I was on iOS. I think that worked. But anyway. Okay. So here's an example of basically how I can watermark. So this is an image, right? If I just get this particular image, oh, let's turn off the crop here. Okay. There's an image. And again, this will all work in the browser as well. I'm just kind of showing you with my testing tools. Okay. And this is that image where I'm actually applying a watermark to it dynamically. So this particular logo is uploaded to a gallery. And then basically I'm specifying which logo I want to apply as a watermark. And and then you can specify the position of it and the size of the watermark, and it'll dynamically add it to the image. So this isn't overlaid or anything like that. It is a part of the image. So that watermark is now permanently a part of the image. You can upload as many watermarks as you want. So if you want different watermarks for different images or something like that, you can do that, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I just want to show you, I got the watermark working. I don't have, again, it's not working on, I don't working on a web page yet. But just to kind of show you how all that's working with the API now. And so eventually, if we go into, let me go into my local demo here. Let's go into this one. So if we go into content admin and we go into here, right? Oh wait, not this one. Sorry, this one. You'll go into watermark. What you'll be able to do here is actually, now that I think of it, what I'm going to do is this watermark. This will be a drop-down menu that will list out all of the watermarks that you have uploaded to your server. And then you can select which watermark you want to choose. At that point, then you can customize it with width, height, the transparency, if you want any padding, its position, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how all that will work. So this will, again, I'll modify this to be a drop down. So it drops downs, it'll show you all of the watermarks on your system. But yeah, other than that, yeah, pretty cool. And then
That's fantastic, Joe.
Thank you.
It's a good solution for most of my problems with pictures.
Yeah. So another problem you've had, which I know you haven't time to watch the live stream, but let me show you how I did the whole focal point cropping thing. Okay, really quick.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and do, let's create a square cropped version of this image. Okay. And, we want to crop. Right. So, I now have now this particular one, it's kind of is centered. Okay. But let's go ahead and I'm going to crop it based on the focal point, which by default is the middle of the picture. So it's what we just see here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go edit this image. I'm going to go into focal point, and you can either, again, you can change it with these sliders, or you can just grab this focal point. You can determine where you want the focal point of the image to be. Okay. So let's say, for example, on this one, I wanted the focal point to be over here just for fun. So I'm going to set it there. I'm going to save. Okay. And then I'm going to go back into here, and I'm going to say preview image. And if you notice here, it's now cropping it based on the focal point that I saved in the CMS. So what that means is if you have a gallery, okay, and you can go through every image in your gallery and customize the focal point that you want.
Wow.
For every single image, and every image can have its own focal point, and then you can just crop all of those images, the entire gallery, based on that focal point, and voila, everything is done for you.
Wow.
And then in
Is
the
this
future,
only-
expected.
yeah, and if the future you ever want to change, let's say I want to change it over here, and I for this image, I now save that. Okay. And we go, I can just re-preview this. Now the focal point's over here because that's where I put it.
Is this going to be in Pro or all the versions?
This will be in all versions.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
So
a game
So,
changer.
yeah.
Joe.
the focal point you set for a specific like gallery folder, or
Well, the focal point is defined for every single, I mean, specifically for each image. It defaults to the middle of the image, but you can, again, as you saw,
you define it for every single image? Okay.
yes, but when you let's say I want to build out a gallery and all the thumbnails I want to have to be square, right? Let's say I want the square thumbnails for my thumbnails. Okay.
Right.
So when I build out a square, okay, so in this case, I did 600 pixels by 600 pixels, and then you do the crop. The crop is based on the focal point, and again here it gives you the macro that you could use, okay. And basically, what you'll do is now for galleries, you'll probably adjust all these settings in the stack, right? But then for the gallery in the stack, which I can't show you because I haven't built it yet, you'll be able to define everything that you see here. You can define inside the stack as well. So basically, for the gallery stack, you'll set what the thumbnail is, right? And basically, this setting will be applied to every single image for the thumbnails. And so you can easily do a square cropped, thumbnail and even watermark it if you wanted, right? Yeah, all dynamically. So it's all the same, which is pretty cool.
It's perfect. Can't believe it.
Man, I so need that.
So yeah, that took a lot of work, Wolf, but I had you in mind and I wanted to make it exactly what you were, I hoped, dreaming. So from your feedback now, I think I nailed it.
You nailed it, Joe.
Excellent.
I think the watermark is one step that I not have in mind. So it's perfect when I can add watermarks dynamically and they build in they bond in the picture.
Yes.
Not an overlay.
Exactly.
That's for me for me is a problem when I upload an image and it has no watermark. It's open for everyone. So,
yeah. Yep.
See, I was having to do an Infinity Designer on an artboard, drag my watermark in and put it on top of every picture and then export it out. So you just cut that whole step out then, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
the next big thing is I can protect my pictures with a watermark, but then I have no option if I have the watermark on the right side of an image, and then I crop it later, maybe with your focal point, then it's gone. Huh?
Yes, that's a good point.
So
yeah.
with this solution, it works. So
yeah,
that's interesting for me. Very interesting. I think
Excellent.
for everyone who works with pictures that should be protected on the web.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah,
let me show you some other stuff for images that I think you'll enjoy. We have a lot of information stored. So obviously, just like CMS1 does now, it does pull in all the EXIF, the metadata from the images, but you can't really interact with that data in the current version of Total CMS, unfortunately. Now you can, okay? So like if you have tags inside of your images, they'll auto load here, okay? And then if we go into EXIF information, it pulls in title, author, copyright, description. This particular image doesn't have any, so it doesn't show. And then you have all your EXIF, your camera information here. Also some GPS information if you add that. And then also what it does is it analyzes all the colors in the images. So as you see, it analyzed this image and it pulled out what it thought were the main colors from the image. And then you can use
remember
these.
That was in the first beta of your old
my old
Total
CMS, yeah. So yeah, I do that now. I've improved it, obviously. And then you can use these colors on the page.
Perfect.
Yeah. Here, let me show you a quick example. I'll go ahead and let me upload an image that has EXIF information. This one does here. Okay, so if I go now and I look at this information, now we can see it pulls in all the, the EXIF information also from your camera. And if you want, you can edit this information. So I do give you the ability, let's say it's not correct or you want to add your lens, maybe it wasn't there. You can edit this information as well. It is saved once you load it. And if you replace the image or you upload it again, it will get replaced with whatever is in the new image. But yeah, you can edit this information in the CMS. So pretty cool. Scott, you had a question, or David? You had a question. I forget who said they had a question. Scott.
So I know I think I bought stuff from Nick Cates, but I have no memory of what I bought because I have probably started the 12-step program, Stackaholics Anonymous and Teams Anonymous. So do you have access to any of those records that say what people have bought?
So if you bought any of his stacks from him, if there are any that I still support, just use the order lookup tool on my product page.
Okay.
And it'll show you.
Okay.
I am not redistributing his RapidWeaver themes at this point. I'm not reselling them.
Okay.
And to be honest, like when I re-release them under Stacks Pro, I'm going to treat them as a new product because while I'm going to try to keep the design true to the original as much as I can, they are completely new products. So,
yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to treat them just as new products. I haven't decided. I probably keep the names maybe just for nostalgic sake or so that people know, but I don't know. What do you guys think? You think they should have new names or keep the names?
I would put a -WS on it or, whatever your new name is so that they know this is the original theme and your version.
-SP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you won't, let's say, Strata, like, Wolf here said, you're not going to be able to install the original Strata theme from RapidWeaver in Stacks Pro anyway. So labeling it WS doesn't really make sense because you can't have, and mine won't work in RapidWeaver and the RapidWeaver version won't work in Stacks Pro. So, yeah,
Then
they will be completely independent.
So
Then
you can
just make
keep
it
the names.
SP, just like Scott said.
Yeah.
And, something that pops up and goes, only works in Stacks Pro.
Yeah.
So eBay went down. Oh, this is just a crazy day.
What was your question, Scott? Did you have a help question?
No.
No.
I'm
Okay.
sitting and working on.
Got it. Okay. I thought you had a technical question.
An entire estate sale over the weekend, and now I'm trying to get it listed, and I go to list it, and eBay just says we can't find that page. The homepage is missing.
Man, I think I went to eBay not long ago, and I was like, are these web developers from eBay still in like freaking the 1990s? Like, Jesus Christ, that website looks horrible.
Concrete
pitiful, and the layout shit
country
drives me insane.
Jesus.
They're in a concrete bunker in a foreign country next to the weather people who told me that it's not going to rain while my backyard is flooded.
I think Craigslist bought them out, and their web developers are.
I'm trying to get like magic books listed. I mean, I have spent.
I don't know if anyone outside the U.S. knows what Craigslist is. I do. Oh yeah.
Wasn't there the Craigslist killers or something like that?
It's like a text-only based site. Like it is old school, but it's very popular if you want to sell something locally or list something locally. It's pretty well known here in the U.S.
That's what it's popular for there. In Europe, it's famous for something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of other questionable things going on there, but that's what I used it for.
We believe you, Joe.
Talking about questionable stuff, if I ever launched Threads, the Facebook's social thing, dude, it is like porn central. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like every post is like, watch this. It's like, whoa, dude. Like, my wife's not around. I'm gonna get in trouble here. Like,
No, I'll pass on any of that stuff. I'm getting very wary of 90% of the social media stuff, and then yeah, there's a lot of weird crap. Weird. All right, I'm gonna go back to trying to get eBay working. Yay.
okie dokie. Have fun.
Yikes.
So
can throw
one
a technical
question
question at
about
you.
Total CMS 3.
Sure.
If I create a product list with prices with Total CMS 3, and then I have to rise the price or lower the price for a product, should I have to go to each product separately, or is it possible to say change the price on all products up to $10?
Wait, say it again. So you want to repeat that again?
If I have to change prices on products and I have a long list, maybe I have 2,000 products.
Yes.
And then I want to change the price, maybe on 10% higher.
Okay.
If
So
I go to each one and change the price,
you don't have to.
Possible.
No. So what for that, the fastest way to do is what you'll do is you'll export the data as like probably a CSV file, make all your changes, and then you can then you can re-upload the CSV and it'll update everything for you.
Okay, that's the way it works.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that'll probably be the quickest way to do that. I do have a full-blown API. If you want to, like, if anyone wanted to script it, you can do that. But I think from a user-friendly standpoint, just downloading the data as a CSV, making your modifications, and then re-uploading it will be definitely the quickest way to handle that.
Okay. If this CSV file has pictures, does it work? I never.
So yeah. So what? No, the pictures won't work. Pictures aren't going to be a part of the CSV. So yeah, I mean, if only the data basically in the CSV, what you can do is you can actually delete all the data if you want and only have the columns that you want to update and then modify that. And it'll basically just do an update. So that won't like remove any existing photos, but this mechanism won't give you the ability to modify any of your photos via the CSV file. So it would have to just be like, textual data that you would update in the CMS. Batch updating images, I don't know how we're going to accomplish that if we ever do right now. Yeah, I don't know that answer yet. I have an API, so it could potentially be automated. But yeah, CSVs and stuff like that don't really support, images or that type of data.
So you never know how they handle the images.
The CMS data will be in
colors or everything else. That's sometimes crazy.
Yeah. My thoughts are possibly like if you wanted to automate the addition of images, you could put in a URL of an image into a CSV, and maybe I can dynamically download it and load it in there. But I don't know. Maybe eventually we'll see. But that's probably going to become a little ways more down the line after we get things more stable and all the features implemented.
Okay.
What were you going to say, David? Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, you were saying like that some of this data will be a CSV file. So could you access that data like with CSV CRUD or things like that, or one of your CSV programs?
That doesn't make sense with Total CMS because the data isn't stored in a CSV file on the server. It's just a way of importing and exporting it. If you ever wanted to, if you ever wanted to modify the data, you would use the Total CMS forms, right? Instead of like something like CSV CRUD. Hopefully that makes sense. Howdy, Erwin. Thanks for popping in. We had a questionable guy joined called Zoom user, and I was like, do I let Zoom user in or not? My mouse was hovered over remove just in case.
Every time.
Oh, that was you, Erwin?
Every time.
Okay, Erwin. Erwin said that was him.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had, you know, trauma. I've been traumatized by Zoom bombs. It hasn't happened for a long time, but you know, I remember the first couple times it happened. That was crazy.
The Zoom app just opened up instead of the web browser.
Ah, okay.
But I'm here, and I caught up on YouTube, so I've seen everything the past half hour in double speed.
Oh, in double speed, nice.
Slightly out of sync though.
Any questions that I can help answer with?
I'm curious, you may not want to answer this because of intellectual property reasons or whatever, but so like when for this displaying JPEGs and WebP and retinas and mobile, you know, basically you put one high quality image up and you're going to automatically make the 8 images from there. So those 8 images are physically stored in a folder forever on there automatically when you upload, or is it making them on the fly? Or?
It builds them on the fly, but once it builds it, it caches it. Here, I'll show you.
It caches it. Okay, that's
yeah. Here, I'll show you.
And so I'm curious, this may be what you don't want to answer. Is it like shelling out to Squoosh and doing it and then re-uploading it, or what?
No, it's all native code on the server and it's all doing it on the fly.
Wow.
with my own code.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So yeah, there's no external services used at all. Let me find let's see here, this one.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if it actually physically stored it after it was called up the first time or not.
Yep. Okay. So here is, it's a hidden folder. One second. We can't see it in Finder. You got to open it up somewhere else.
Because the first time, that's obviously going to slow it down a smidge.
Yes, and that will be a concern for servers. If you upload 1,000 pictures and then you're trying to generate 1,000 thumbnails all at the same time, I don't have the perfect solution for how I'm going to address that yet. I mean, eventually your server will create all of them, and once it does, you're good. But we'll see how that goes. Let me get back to, let's see, websites.
But what if you purge Cloudflare?
So this doesn't, Cloudflare is an extra level of caching. This shouldn't matter because the server is, everything is cached on the server. Okay. So you're also, I think it'll,
yeah.
Okay. So let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, so here is, it's this image here. Okay. So if you see, I uploaded this image here. Okay. And this is it stores the original image that I uploaded. Okay. Unlike the current version of Total CMS, where it stores a reduced size that you configure in the admin stack. Total CMS 3 stores the original version that you've uploaded. Okay. Then as you saw, like in here, if I go ahead and use this, and I can create different versions. You can also use the stack to create all these different versions of an image, right? Based on the size, or you can add effects, you can blur it, you can pixelate it, you can do all kinds of stuff, right? Based on all that, if you notice, there's this .cache folder, and inside there is the image, and you'll see that there are a couple files here. Now, if I'm just going to add a JPEG extension to this file, just so we can see it, okay? There we go. As you see, that's the JPEG. And let's look at this one. All right. Not sure what the difference is between those. I can see a quality difference. I think maybe it was the JPEG quality. Here, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create a 300 by 300 cropped version. Okay. We're going to say preview. Now, if I go back over here, you see that there was a new file created. And guess what that file is? Let me just add a JPEG extension. There it is, right? So basically what's going on here is Total CMS is creates the version of the image that you requested, and then it caches it as a file, okay, inside this cache folder. And in the future, if this exact image is ever requested again, it doesn't recreate it. It serves up the cached version. Okay. Now, if I ever upload a new image, okay, so I'll go ahead and upload. I'm going to upload a new image here. Okay, I'm going to upload a new image. If you notice, that cache folder is gone now. So whenever you replace an image, that .cache folder is gone. It doesn't exist anymore because I don't want to serve up old cached versions of the image because you obviously just uploaded a new one, right? So if I go into this now again, let's say preview image, there's a new cropped version. And if I go into here, there it is now. That's the version that was just created on the fly.
It would have to be named a different name, correctly? Correct?
No, if you notice this one, so this one is it does keep the original name VW Van 4. And if here, I'll go back, and if we upload a new image, if you remember before it was called Golden Gate something, I'm going to upload that. Okay. You look, the cache folder is gone. The image is now goldengate.jpg, right? So I do keep the original name, intact. So there we go. Yeah. You can also here, if I go ahead and I'm going to create here's a new preview of this one. There we go. We see it's created now. Here's the cached version of that image. Now let's say for some reason I want to clear all the cache for this particular image. There's a little button here. I can just click on that, and that too clears the image, clears the cache for that particular image. So I've tried to think of everything. I tried to add the kitchen sink here so that we have everything that we would need. And yeah, let's see a couple other buttons here. This downloads the original image. Okay. So again, this is just in the admin area. So you can download the original image that was uploaded. You can mark it as featured. Cool. This it's just the same thing as drag and dropping. It just opens the file open dialog. And then this obviously we saw clear cache, and then this will delete the image, right? So if I just want to delete the image, obviously that's a bad thing. So I clarify, yes, are you sure you want to do this? And you can say, okay. And that image is going to be gone, and it's now gone. Okay. Even though VS Code's still displaying it, it doesn't exist over here. Right. But then I can go ahead and upload a new one. Voila. At that point, I can go in here and I can create versions of that image. And if we'll see over here, now there's the image I just uploaded. Here's the cached image that I created. So there we go.
And so if you're making those 8 or 9 or 10 different images, like I'm getting ready to redo all my images. So basically what I need to upload is the desktop Retina JPEG, correct?
Correct. Yeah. And as you saw, you can create WebP on the fly, so you're not limited to JPEG or PNG. You can automatically convert and create different versions of the image.
Right.
There are some issues with some web servers with the AVIF format, which is pretty bleeding edge. I'm not too worried about that yet. I might just remove it as an option until I fine tune that. But WebP is working great. And so I think most people are just getting used to using WebP now, maybe. So we'll support WebP, JPEG, PNGs. I forget what else is in that list.
So even though, like, from my images anyway, the WebP image looks better than even the big JPEG image, you still use that big JPEG image as your main one that you upload to build everything.
You can test. I mean, you can upload a WebP and it should be able to create a JPEG version for you. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah,
I don't think I've tried that.
Wise, but how you get the best end result on all your pictures if it's
that's something to play with. Play with that and let me know. It'd be interesting to see. What we come up with.
That's Megan. That's freaking mega.
But yeah, we should be able to convert between any of the formats. So if you upload a WebP, you should be able to get a PNG or a JPEG out of it, right?
Yeah, I've
Now,
never
obviously,
gone from WebP to JPEG and seen
yep.
what it is. Yeah.
Now, obviously, like if you were to use something like Squoosh or something like that, I'll be honest, I bet you Squoosh is going to be better, right? In terms of compression and whatnot. But I mean, that has probably hundreds of Google engineers working on that, right? I mean, this is
Right.
me. So
Right.
I think my stuff's pretty good.
Right.
But I'll admit,
Come
out
on,
of the
Joe,
box,
step it
probably
up.
not going to have as good of compression as Squoosh does, right?
Right.
Right. So,
yeah, you gotta weigh the time savings, because to sit and do 10 pictures in Squoosh, you just chewed up.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, this, you just upload it once and you let the system do it all for you, right?
Yeah.
And it's, it'll get you 90% there,
Right. So this AVIF, I haven't played with this. Is this as good as WebP and smaller even, or what?
Oh, I don't believe I don't know. It is a newer format. I'm not sure exactly what its pros and cons are against WebP. I don't know, to be honest with you.
It's probably not supported by all browsers yet, though.
No, it is not. It's not supported by every browser yet.
It's not worth fooling with yet then.
Let's see. Well, it does have as of 2024, the latest browsers that have been shipped this year now officially support AVIF. But last year, not all of them did. So you have to be running the latest version of any browser, and they will support AVIF. AVIF generally has better compression than WebP, JPEG, PNG, and GIF, and is designed to supersede them. AVIF completes JPEG XL, which had similar compression quality and is generally seen as more feature rich than AVIF. All right, so it's a spin-off of JPEG XL, which was something that never really took off.
Yeah, for product images, that JPEG XL could never touch WebP, in my opinion.
Oh, really? Interesting.
It wasn't even close.
Oh, okay.
Bigger files and worse quality.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
there
I
you
don't
go.
know how it is for pictures of people with forest behind them or something like that.
Yeah. It is interesting to see how different types of images work better in different formats.
Right.
It really does. So yeah, like I've seen like this these VW bus pictures that I'm uploading here. I've played around with those, and if you like zoom in and really look, the JPEGs tend to look a little bit nicer than the WP for this style of image that's like, basically a photograph, right?
Yeah.
But something that has less color variance, I think is much better with WebP.
Yeah, product
in my
on
opinion.
white background, it's insane how much better quality and smaller quality
Yep.
is. I mean, like,
And plus, if you have like like yours has a lot of like white background in it, right?
Right.
And in JPEG, if you compress a JPEG image, basically try to make it as small as possible, that white background is no longer a uniform white. It actually tends to be a lot of variations in that white color, which is one of the drawbacks of JPEG.
Yeah, the WebP holds it pretty darn good though.
Sweet. Yeah. Another huge benefit of WebP is for transparent PNGs, because a lot of times people will use a PNG because of transparent backgrounds, and up until WebP, it was really the only game in town if you wanted a transparent background on an image. But WebP is like a tenth the size, and you can still have transparent backgrounds. So it's really good.
Yeah, the lossy is a lot smaller than PNG, but it's still way bigger than the WebP non-loss. I mean, it's like a bummer that it's still this much bigger,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. You'd think a transparent background, there's nothing there, it should be smaller. And it's like huge.
Yep.
Joe, I've been thinking about how to say this, but I think you keep showing us that VW 5 image, right?
Yeah.
Right. Every time I see that, the bloody car's sitting in the same part of the road every bloody time.
It never moves. It never gets to its destination.
This should be your marketing process. You should be pushing that car further down that road.
That's funny.
It's got one on moving box, isn't there?
Gotta
Yep.
go, guys. I got a 3:30.
Oh, see you later, Scott. Thanks for popping in.
Just a quick question, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Because tomorrow I'm going to be playing with the language side on the home page.
Okay.
Now, if I want to create another home page, can I just call it index 2, or should I create it in a folder?
Is this just for temporary testing purposes or what?
Well, it's going to have another language.
Okay. And you're using Agent Lang for this, or what are you using? Okay.
Agent, yeah.
Okay. So you don't necessarily, I mean, with Agent, what's kind of cool is you just use the same homepage. And then with Agent, you can
I know you can make it just the header can be one over the other and all that. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you would just use the little macros that it has, which are pretty powerful, in order to just, instead of the header, if the language is set to English, use this one. If it's set to Spanish or whatever your language, use this one.
Do it that way rather than have a different page for each.
Yes, I think that's better because now you don't have to manage the design of 2 pages, right? You only have to manage the design of 1 page. In terms of, so how would you do admin? Again, we talked about this, I think, on Friday. It just, it depends, right?
And the content, so I've got quite a lot of content. So I was going to go down the 2-page thing.
Oh, yeah, that could make sense then, and then, that way, if you want to edit the English stuff, you go over here. If you want to manage the whatever other language, then you go to that page, right?
Yeah. I've got an idea I wanted to do it. I just wanted to know whether to do 4 pages or 3 before I start. Just do 1 as a test.
Yes. Yeah. I'll always start simple, right? How do you how do you eat an elephant, right? 1 bite at a time. So, yep.
So, I'll have a play with that about 6 in the morning.
It's like sometimes especially like when I was, starting off with Total CMS 3, I had all these things in my head and it's just like, and then some days I didn't get nothing done because I just thought about everything that I had to do. And, finally you just got to go, okay, I need to sit down. I'm going to work on this one thing to get this one thing done. And then when that's done, you'll go, okay, what's the next one thing I'm going to do? Right. And you just
I'm trying to speed it up. So I was doing
chip it away until it's done
today. And I was going to start a little bit of the language one and balance the time up so I can get a little bit of a lot done rather than one thing.
And then when you finish that bit, you move the car up the road.
I'll wash the car,
Another thing I've done this week is actually I joined 11 different online communities for web designers outside of our ecosystem. I'm down to 6 now. I ditched 5. I was like, these communities are crap, and some of them were just spam or garbage. It's been interesting. A lot of these are people hand coding stuff, and I've tried to help here or there. There are some people in the world that have way more patience than me. Wow. Trying to teach someone, I'm like, man, some guys spend a lot of time and effort helping guys write JavaScript, like really complex JavaScript. I'm like, dude, like, I don't know if I have the time or the patience to do that, man. But it's been interesting. Eventually I hope to, these aren't any product specific communities or forums. But eventually I hope that, once I gain a little bit of more clout on the communities, I can start, maybe linking and bringing more users over to Stacks. That's my ultimate end game here. But it's been fun. So I had one person, on each of the communities, I put in like hi, I'm Joe, like an introductory post, right? And in the post, I did link to Weaverspace, and I linked to the Foundation framework, and on one community, it was actually SitePoint. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. they're a big like web design book publisher, and my post was up for like 3 or 4 days, no issues, and then a user commented on my post saying, "You're not supposed to be able to put links in your posts," and then reported me to the admins. And then the admin said they sent me a DM and said, "Sorry, we're that is our policy. You can't have links." So they removed my link to Weaverspace. They kept the one to Foundation, but not to Weaverspace. So I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, whatever.
At
So
least
I was
warned you in advance, not like some other people.
yeah. The form admin was really nice about it. So but I just thought it was funny that the user, one of the users, got, I guess, jealous because he's like, whenever I link to my blog post, they get removed. How come yours stays?
Because his blog post goes to Threads, and we know what's there.
I was like, yeah.
So any idea when Stacks Pro will be released?
So the betas are out now. Although the current beta, which is beta 10, is not too usable in terms of creating websites. This next beta, though, should be a lot better. It should actually, we can actually maybe start actually building some stuff with it. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully it should come out this week. But it's starting to shape up from what I saw from Isaiah last night. I spent about 2 hours with him last night. Yeah, it's starting to shape up really nicely. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have that beta, and hopefully it'll include what I'm hoping it does, so that it or this last bit that I requested, so that a lot of my stacks will work in Stacks Pro again.
Okay. So maybe we have both Total CMS 3 and Stacks Pro the same time.
It could be, yeah, it could be close. It's probably going to be, relatively close. They both probably be officially released at the same time. Definitely this year. So yeah, I don't know exactly when either of them is going to be complete, but they're both getting there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. And then I already have once this beta shipped, I'm gonna start working on getting a public version of the Foundation theme for Stacks Pro, so that as long as Isaiah ships what he promised he would, or what he promised he'd hope he'd try to do this week for me to get Foundation to work, then I'll ship a public version of the Foundation 6 theme, so that you can start using Foundation 6 in Stacks Pro as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good news.
Yeah, hopefully a better gallery is built in with Total CMS 3.
Which one?
A gallery stack that
Oh,
creates
yeah.
a gallery.
Yeah, I have to do a gallery stack.
Don't like this Gallery Pro here that you get from.
Oh, you don't like Photo Pro? Okay.
No,
All right. Well, if you want some feedback, give me some feedback on what you'd like to see in a gallery, then yeah, we can probably get something like that done.
More options.
More options. Okay.
More options if you create a light box. It's limited in stacks in Photo Pro.
Okay.
There are only 2 colors that you can choose, and
I thought in Pro there was a color picker though. No.
No.
Oh, okay. I have it on my list. I think Photo Pro is good, but I do think like there's some things that it could just, I can still use that, but then just make maybe a new version that lets you change whatever color you want instead of keeping it to 2, stuff like that.
That was one of the problems with Nick Cates. He always had fixed values for spaces between pictures, for sizes, or for colors. He said, "Okay, I'm the designer. I make the design," and that's a problem. If you got different colors, or you need a black background or a white background, or gray background, it don't work.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that. You know me, I like to give you I like to just build the tools to let you be the designer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Okay.
just say you'd like to give us enough rope to hang ourselves?
Yes, 100%. And you
Yes,
haven't done
I
it
thought
yet,
you
Bill.
said.
So I'm pretty excited.
I'm pardon?
And you haven't done it yet. You haven't, you're still around.
Well, I'm still short too, so I haven't stretched the neck a lot. I'm still
Nice.
wrestling, Joe, with what I know is should be quite simple. I want to build a blank page, and I want to go to a collection and grab a specific object and show the picture.
Okay.
Okay, so I've fooled with your loop, and I have an image that does what I want it to do.
Mhm.
And the macro is CMS, image path, post.id, width and height, and then collection is stamp, and property is image.
Okay. And
So what I'm trying to do is remove post.id, which I believe is an ID that was generated through the loop process.
no, that is the ID that is saved for the object in the CMS.
Okay, so the when you add to your collection, which is basically like adding a blog listing, there's an automatic data there, and you can override that. You can put your own words in, right?
Correct.
And I have one that is called Cartier test.
Okay.
One word. And it seems to me that it should be cms.imagepath Cartier test stamp image. And I'm missing something because that's wrong.
You want to show me?
Sure. So I think you're seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this works. I think I've got it disabled right now, but this is the macro for it.
Okay.
And I do have a collection called stamp, and in that I have something that the ID for it, if I'm understanding this right, is this particular thing, and I can actually show a screen somewhere that has that.
Cartier
Right
test is the ID.
That's my understanding.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. I see. I know exactly the problem. Okay.
Good.
So go back to your stack.
Which
okay. You see how so you clicked on support variables, correct?
I did.
Okay. And you see on your collection and your property, you had put those inside quotes.
Okay. Well, I tried the other way too, and it didn't work for me, but I could have done something else.
But your object ID is not inside quotes.
Okay, and it needed to be.
Yes, because what that's doing now is it's looking for a variable called Cartier post or Cartier test. Sorry, Cartier test.
Sure.
Now, right now, since you have all three of those inside quotes, you're not using variables. So technically, you could just turn the support variables off, delete all your quotes, and you're good to go.
Turn those off, delete the quotes, and I'm good.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. That's probably, I'm currently programming on superstition here. I just keep changing things to see what happens.
Sure.
But I thought I was getting close.
Yep. You were so close.
But yeah, the other little thing, and it may not be the place to mention it, but I reviewed your that 2.5-hour session that we had last week. And in the process, you said, I'm not sure how I had that. And what you had at about, what was it? About an hour and 23 minutes in, you used the word perplexed. You had a title for one, or maybe the ID for one, and then you had the image for a second. I've done that exact thing. I think you hit save and actually made two entries.
Possibly. I don't remember what I was doing at that point.
I know. I thought I'd solved the problem and wanted to share it with you. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Well, guys, anything else I can help you guys out with, or any questions? Else we can call it a day. Ryan?
So on the Video Pro, when you're doing a WebM and an MP4, when you add it, the WebM has to be the one on top, correct?
Yes. Whatever basically you want the one on the bottom to be like your default.
The catch-all.
The catch-all, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you put the MP4 first, then every browser is going to be like, I support an MP4. I'm going to use that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, go in order.
I do have one dumb TARDIS question.
Sure.
Okay, so thank you for last Friday and setting up that little site with the little pop-up. I'm like, that was the easiest thing I've ever done, and I didn't want to do it that way because I didn't know how. So
Sweet.
thank you. If I already have like TARDIS on one of my customer sites, and that shows the days off and on, and for that, open and closed, is it possible to put just a pop-up for a day that says we are closed today? That would
Yes.
pop up, and that would be outside of that TARDIS or inside of that same TARDIS stack.
Well, I mean, so this would be a pop-up that you only want to show on a particular day, or like every like the first of the month, or like when do you want to show
only
it?
when they're closed. We are closed today.
After the day,
like for
after
instance,
the day ends.
So for instance, if I want to do July 4th, and I just want to say have a happy July 4th, and just have, let's say, a picture of the post that was done on social media, I would want that to show up in the TARDIS just for that day.
So yeah, you could add a different TARDIS stack to the page that then on July 4th, you can show this pop-up that says we're closed, right? Another option, if you wanted to make it, well, first off, here, let's just show you. Right. So,
I mean, I'm going to go into this more on Friday because, like, I know everybody's like, "Oh, we got other stuff. It's Wednesday."
This will give you something to work on for a couple days. It's fine. Okay.
Like I don't have enough auctions.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Gotta wait for stacks to load here.
2000. I think there should be a contest for the record number of stacks. Who's got the most?
I think Mr. Matthias Wolf is the winner here in this. He has way more stacks than I do. I think he has double what I do.
It does count a lot of other things, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does count. Yeah, I don't have 3 individual stacks. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but yeah. Okay, so TARDIS. Oops, if I can spell. There, TARDIS. All right. So you could set up a TARDIS in here, okay? And you could do this manually. So you could set it to be like, July 4th, okay? And you would add a stop time. So you'd have July 4th midnight and July 5th midnight would be the end time, right?
Okay.
That makes sense?
Or
right?
12:01 a.m. to
exactly
11:59 p.m.
Exactly, right? So you could do that. Okay. There's other things that we can do, right? There's a yearly thing. So like let's say you knew that every July 4th you wanted to display a message. You could do July 4 and end July 5, which would be midnight July 5th. Okay. And then let's turn that off so it's less confusing, right? So at that point, then whatever is inside here will display every July 4th.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. And then just let you know, so there's TARDIS days. This is in your particular situation, this isn't what you want. But if you wanted to display something every Monday, and you can even do, every Monday from this time to this time, or every Tuesday from this time to this time, right? You can display something on a weekly basis.
Okay.
Okay.
And you have more than one pop-up, let's say I did that pop-up last Friday, and that's going to run until June 28th. But let's say I also want another pop-up after they clear that one 5 seconds later for something else on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Yeah. You would have just multiple TARDIS stacks with different light boxes and different call to actions in it.
Perfect. I'm going to go play with that.
Okay, cool.
Now that this is easier, a year ago, this was like, what the hell is a TARDIS?
Yeah.
Because I'm retardis. I'm like, yeah. I was a mess. I mean, think about this. This was about that time last year where I started taking the training and like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. And I don't know who else I owe amends to, but if I do, text me. But I mean, it's great that I'm like moving along and I'm good. Anyway, at some point I'm going to be setting up and there's a whole new design for my hard of hearing site that you guys saw last week.
Nice.
It's not bad, but the next design's much better.
Good. What's up, Wolf?
One more question about Total CMS Standard and Pro. What's the difference between this?
Sure. So standard is basically going to be like what Total CMS is now. Okay. Pro will have the ability to have unlimited fields and custom collections. Okay. So what that means is so like right now you can use a blog for a lot of things, but you have to like remember I'm using the author field for this and I'm using this for this, you know. In a custom collection, you get to choose the names of all your fields. Okay. And yeah, there'll probably be some other small things that will be only in Pro. I haven't ironed out all those details yet. But yeah, the big difference is custom collections and unlimited fields.
Okay.
Being able to name your own fields is worth the price of admission right there.
There'll be some other like I haven't decided. Like I created a Total CMS can actually generate its own QR codes now. So that might be a pro only feature. I haven't decided. So yeah, and there will also be a third edition. There'll be a light version, which will be similar to Easy CMS now. That won't have blog. It'll be even more trimmed down than the standard version.
Question about the QR code. Is it possible to have this QR code as a watermark for a picture? That could be created from the text inside the picture.
As of right now, if you wanted that, you'd have to upload a PNG of your QR code as a watermark, and then that would work. Yes. But not currently. The watermark feature is nowhere close to where that code is, and the watermark feature creates SVGs, which is completely different, a completely different beast. So maybe something I can look at in the future. But for right now, the solution for that would be to upload a PNG of your watermark, and then that you can watermark that onto an image.
Are you gonna?
Because if I create an exhibition, so I always placed QR codes on the picture so that you can go to this site directly. If you see it,
okay.
You can therefore I ask for it, and it would be great if it's included, but it's not a important thing. It's
cool. Interesting idea. I mean, if it wouldn't be too difficult just to create a PNG of a watermark, and then at that point you could do it super easily.
I'm gonna have a play with that tomorrow because I've got an idea for that. I like that. I never even thought of that one. So I wanted to do something with the QR codes on an image, so that's solved that problem.
Cool. Excellent.
Brilliant.
Joe, I was also thinking, like a couple of us are using like Pixel 2 and Switchy for doing like these mini things. What would be like an advantage of hooking that into TCMS3? Let's say if we wanted to do some kind of post and then have it tracked through something like that, would that be something we could just paste in, or do we need some kind of back end connectivity to that for an API?
So how would you like? So Switchy is a URL shortener, right? Or
Right.
so
and it creates QR codes. It can create a QR code. It could do a whole bunch of stuff all in one thing.
Okay. So
Offsite.
you would either have to, like, if you want to integrate the QR code, you'd have to either download it and kind of do a manual thing. You can then upload the QR code into Total CMS, or I mean, Total CMS does have a full-blown API, and I do plan on having integrations with services like Active Pieces and or Zapier, so that you could integrate with external systems, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure if Switchy or those other services do that, but that makes it a possibility.
If you have something like a webhook in Total CMS, then it should be possible with all automations.
Yeah,
I'm thinking from Switchy to Total CMS, let's say being able to pick up that QR code and bring it in. I don't know if I could bring that up on my screen. Let's see. I'm not saying I want to share my screen, but like for instance, if you go to Switchy, there's a whole actions line here, and that would be copying a link, show stats, share on. You can view it, you can download the QR code, edit the link, get a report link. I mean, there's just a lot of things. Oh, never mind.
So here's Switchy, right?
Yes.
So for example, here's what's this download for? This is the download for the Foundation open source project. There's I could download on the website. So 140,000 downloads so far. And you can download a QR code. Basically, you're saying you want this, but load that into Total CMS.
Let's say we wanted to use that I haven't figured this out what the use would be, but having this type of connectivity for a default something, or let's say you design it, you save it. That's a problem in this. When you design it, you have to download it, but I don't know if it saves it back in to their back end of the system. But imagine.
Well, I mean, what a QR code is, I mean, there's no really saving it. It's just, it basically, all the QR code does is it points to this URL. That's all that QR code does, right? So once you download this PNG here, it's a QR code to this particular download link.
Right.
It will always link there, right? So yeah, I mean, you could upload this PNG that I just downloaded, and it will always point to this particular URL, right, in Switchy. So I mean, yeah, that should never change, right? This QR code will never change,
right, regardless of the style.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, so like for instance, let's say if I converted my site to TCMS3 and I write up a note about this presentation I did for a summit on security, I have that little mini site, and I would want people to just be able to scan that or click it or whatever to go look at that.
Now here, I don't remember. I think I showed off the QR code stuff that I did. Hold on, let me see if I still have that example. Where did I put that? Oh, here, it's QR code. Okay, let's see this. All right, so let me go to this. This is. Oh, it still works. Look at that. Okay. Here, let's make this bigger. Essentially, the QR code integration is all done with Twig. Okay. So basically it's this right now. If I had let's say this URL was stored in my CMS, like I have it fully typed out here, right? Okay. But if you were to see this QR code and use your phone, it would take you to this website, Weaverspace/Stacks. Now, again, I have this hard coded, but you could easily put in actual code from this, or data from your CMS. Let's say I had a blog that was I can do like post dot, I don't know, URL. Okay, let's say I had and in the URL field I was storing a URL, and this will basically generate a QR code based on the URL that's saved in the CMS, right? So yeah, that's how that will kind of work. So in terms of Switchy, what you would do is you wouldn't even need to generate, you would need to get the code from Switchy, because all you would do is oh, did I close that? Oh, there it is. You would just get this URL,
Get the link
Okay.
and put it in there on hard code.
And then you would save the link, in the CMS, and then you would use the CMS to generate your QR code. You wouldn't
Okay.
even need to get the QR code from them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Cool.
It does. I'm pretty excited. My mind is still blown, and I'm, working away.
Sweet. Okay, guys. Anything else?
I gotta go munch some food up. I'm
Sweet.
starving.
Cool.
You did
Well,
let
guys,
Zoom user in.
I guess we'll call it a day. Thank you for coming on, everybody. I appreciate it. I had a good time. Hope you learned some stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I know a lot of you. I'll see you on Friday.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Bye.